SharePoint Online Administration is quite straightforward. You basically can create a new SharePoint site with literally a couple of clicks. You put in the title, the description, allocate basically the storage and click on OK, and there you have a SharePoint site. We can actually see that we've got a couple of sites set up here, which we can go to straight away and have a look. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I just want to stay on track. So live meeting administration has its own live meeting console. This console allows you to set things such as time zones, number of meeting and a default meeting, groups, so you can create and assign roles, and you can also have all your previous meetings and see and store and put policies on what to do with them, such as delete them after 90 days, etc. So that is the live meeting console, and the Office Communications Online is the most simple thing to administer because you have either enable or disable. That is all you require. The rest of it is all done through the tool, which we'll have a look at shortly. So that is the admin console. Just having a quick look through the user accounts, we can see that we have 170 licenses available. Of our 250 user total license, we have 80 online, and we've got the full suite, and we can see the date and time. So all of this information is there, as well as the business contact. Now these are the contacts that you basically Microsoft will use to contact you. As you can see, very simple here to purchase more licenses. You literally click on here and it's one-stop shop, and you can purchase additional license types. Now let's have a look at the desktop environment. Now this is quite important for the user environment. So Microsoft recommends only supports Windows XP Service Pack 3 and above desktops. So to sign into BPOS or to sign into the cloud, you need a sign-in tool installed on desktops. This sign-in tool can be synchronized with your desktop password or your Active Directory password, but you need to do some modifications for that. So I'm going to sign in with my credentials. And as you can see, you can set that to remember you, so users don't always have to worry about it. And it can start up when you start the computer up, so it signs you in automatically. Just along the bottom here, you can see that it's signed me in, and I now have the option to sign out. The next thing that the Online Services tool will do is align and adjust your software to work for the cloud. Now what that really means is basically it just puts in the configuration of the Exchange server, the link to the SharePoint site, and checks that you've got your Office Communicator 2007 R2 installed. So as you can see with email, all it does is it creates another profile in Outlook. It doesn't delete anything, it doesn't modify anything, it just creates another profile which points to the cloud account. You can also, using this, go straight to your cloud version of your email system, and if I put my credentials in there, let's do that. Now you can run this application literally from any computer with an internet connection, and there you have my account. Now this account we've deliberately created is a 1.6 gigabyte account with a whole bunch of data, so we deliberately have loaded up with a lot of information. And as you can see, it is pretty much the web client version feels and looks exactly like the desktop Office client. You literally have all your mailbox, calendar, options, messaging, and even your rules. So you have your out-of-office assistant. So this is pretty much what you'd expect from Office 2007 type of environments. Performance again, and this is something that we'll all have to think about. Performance again is limited by your connection to the internet. This is where IMGroup have particular strengths in. So that is my my account. Let's log out of that. Now, web conferencing is pretty much live meeting, which we're using right now, but if you literally click it, it will take you there. So this really simplifies the user experience. And as you can see, we can schedule a meeting straight out of it. And attendees, presenters, and location can all be set in there, date, times. So very, very straightforward. Now, the look and the feel of this environment, as you can see, is very much what your users are familiar with. So the impact of change is reduced dramatically by having something familiar. SharePoint Online take you straight into your SharePoint environment. So we can see here's an example test little environment that we're creating. Let's just click on the IT sub-tab. As you can see, we've created a SharePoint site for IT, and this literally took us minutes, and we're putting in some documents, etc. So that gives you an idea of how easy it is to create the SharePoint site. Now, the company portal basically is the web version, which we'll come to very shortly. And instant messaging is your communicator environment. So there it is, signing me into Office Communicator, but unfortunately I don't have anyone else to chat with at the moment. But it is the look and the feel of Office Communicator. So this is the online sign-in tool that people would run from their desktops when they're in the office. But they can also access these tools without using the sign-in tool through a web client. And pretty much the way to do that is they would connect up to home.emia.microsoftonline.com. So if we were to just put this along next to it, it will take you straight to this, and there you can see there's your web version of your intranet, your web conferencing, and your emails. It also has the downloads that you may require or need on your computer. So this is very handy when you're traveling or you're on a computer that does not belong to your organization. So that concludes the brief overview of what Microsoft's online services product looks like. Now I'd like to jump back to our presentation and discuss the deployment. Although it's quite simple, a lot of organizations actually have very mixed and different environments, and this is where the challenge is taking multiple different applications integrated with mail servers, different ways, unstructured file servers, etc., and planning and preparing and migrating those into the cloud. So we like to think of it as different types of spaghetti, and we're trying to standardize that. So our deployment overview is very simple. It's a three-step plan. It's a plan, prepare, and migrate. Majority of the work is actually done in the planning and the preparation. We believe that once you have a good plan and good preparation done, the migration is pretty much very simple. And in previous cases, a lot of our customers have done the migrations themselves. So at a very high level, this is how you would plan to migrate into the cloud for BPOS. We basically discuss what we need to do and what components of BPOS that needs to be set up. In this case of, say, for example, email migration, we would sign up and get the IT staff familiar with the environment. We'd get and set up their SMTP domains. Again, at this stage there is no impact to the business. Step 3 would be establishing coexistence, where we'd have the cloud and the on-premise environments talking to each other. We would be testing and making sure everything is safe, secure, and we'd make sure that encryption is working fine. At this point, we'd have a go, no-go approval from senior management, and we would start a data migration as agreed to a schedule. So at this stage, we'd migrate logical departments or components or regions into the cloud. Once that migration is complete, which could take days, weeks, months, depending on the client, we would then either switch off or set up the DNS migration so that the whole mail flow now works straight into the cloud. The planning component, as you can see, is quite extensive. Now, depending on your size of your organization, some of these may take minutes, some of these may take days to detail. So depending on the complexity of your environment, your planning will take longer or shorter. We expect somewhere along the lines of 1 to 5 days to have a high-level overview. Now, things that come out on the planning, such as long lead items, are quite important. So understanding your network configuration, making sure that you don't have port exhaustion, the size of your Active Directory, all impact how soon or how later you can go into the cloud. Your network, your bandwidth, your failovers, your dual redundancy environments, your mailbox delegations, size of your mailbox, physical time it's going to take those emails into the cloud, all needs to be calculated and planned. Once we have a plan, we can then start the preparation work. So we can then start going through Active Directory. We highly recommend that we go through and look through all the items in Active Directory for illegal characters, for incomplete or inconsistent data sets. We recommend that you populate your Active Directory as much as possible, and we have tools that can automate that process so that the workflows in SharePoint, so that instant messaging and communicator work properly. We can look at your password policies. We can set all these up. So in the preparation stage, we prepare all this. Desktops. Are your Windows XP machines Service Pack 3? Do you have any older desktops? Is your Microsoft Office out of date? Do we need to do a deployment? Do we need to help you prepare to go up to Office 2003 and beyond? These are all things that the preparation phase prepares to go into the cloud. So these tasks could take a while as well. Once we've prepared your environment and we've established coexistence, we're happy that everything is, we are then ready to migrate, and we use our own developed migration tools as well as Microsoft's tools to migrate mailboxes, data, SharePoint sites, information. We look for duplicates. We can set up POP3, IMAP, and even ActiveSync, and look at things such as BlackBerry environments, etc. We can then look at routing and coexistence during the migration. So at one stage during your migration, you'll have some users in the cloud and some users on-premise. How do these two environments talk, and how do we stop mail from going around in circles? So once we've done all that migration, then we basically close everything up and hand it over. So that covers basically the overview of that, of Microsoft's BPOS. And at this stage, we hope that you've got a better understanding. I'm going to hand it over to Jeremy to wrap up.
Thanks, Ken. Hopefully what you've seen today is the capability and the power of Microsoft Online Services as represented by the BPOS suite of products, how readily available those products are to you, and an understanding of the process that needs to be gone through to get you to the point when you're ready to take advantage of those. We as a business are here to support you in that, and which brings us on to the next step. We are great believers in helping people understand and appreciate the value of cloud technologies by giving them first-hand experience of it. And this is something that we've seen in market, particularly in recent months. There is a real readiness and a willingness and an understanding that the time is now right for people to build that first-hand experience, to start to use these cloud services and to understand from your own experience what's right for you, and to plan then accordingly.